Hey guys, how you doing today? I see you're there. First, let me say welcome back to my channel, and I'm so glad to have you here today. If you're just waking up, welcome to a new day. If you're already up and about, and I wish you all the best today. In some parts of the world, I'm pretty sure people are going to sleep as we're getting ready for a new day. So guys, I just want to talk to you today about something that has been resting heavily on my heart. My name is Steve Hartwell, and we just want to talk about kids. So stay tuned, don't go nowhere, get ready, and we'll be right back. So hi, thank you for staying tuned. If you're just coming on now, we're just about to talk about kids. Guys, let me tell you something. I am not no expert on kids, but you know what? I'm a father, I'm a parent, and we all know that parenting does not come with any rule book. There's no rubric. When we first became parents, there was never a book handed to us to say, hey, this is how you do this, this is how you do that. There was nothing like that. But what we need to understand is that even though parenting did not come with a rule book, guys, there's some morals and some ethics that we need to use to guide us as we go about every day dealing with kids. And I just want to start by saying that last night I was on a friend's channel, and I was watching something that he brought public awareness to, and this is Jamaica YouTube TV. That's Jamaica YouTube TV. If you don't have him, go check him out. He's an awesome content creator, and he is the kind of person who's very passionate about some of these topics, because he have realized some of the situation, the issues. He have been there, done that, I would like to say. And there's this gentleman who is right now in incarceration, and it's very interesting to know that he actually took someone's life, and that's what led him to being where he is right now. And it was very interesting, the different opinions that came out of that forum. Some people was all for revenge. Some people were like, okay, he deserved that. Some people were, as myself, having a different perspective to it. Well, guys, I just want to say today, I just want to share 4 little points. I hope I have enough time. I don't run out of time. But as I said before, parenting comes with no rule book. I'll say that again. Parenting does not come with any rule book. And I do understand that a lot of us became parents, for the most part, myself included, at a point where we never planned for it. We were not ready for it, per se. We were not ready. But life happens, right? Life happens. So, you're there, now you're a parent. Drops right into your lap. So what do you do from there? You're gonna have to start to learn. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Sometimes I do know, because this is a serious problem throughout the world, that your parent failed to parent you the way they ought to. And are now living what you learn. It's a cycle. You are now passing on all of this to your child. it becomes a cycle, because it's often said, but it is very, very true, that children lives what they learn, and what we inculcate in them will, for the most part, decide who they're gonna be, how they're gonna impact society, what kind of person are they gonna be to their fellow human being. And we gotta be very careful, guys. We gotta be very careful, because what we do with our kids are gonna decide the future. It's not an easy road. I understand that. Parenting is not easy. And as I've said before, and I'll refer to it again, that parenting does not come with a rule book. I understand. But the fact that God gave them to us, and I will just make a disclaimer, because there might be people listening to my voice who don't believe that there's a God. I would want to warn you from now that I have a difference of opinion where that is concerned, and this might be a good time for you to kind of excuse yourself. I would like for you to say, but if you don't share the same beliefs, the fact that it is a fact that at different points I might bring up the word of God right here, and I don't want it to be an issue to no one. So I would like you to say, but just be forewarned, right? So I was saying, God brings them into our lives, guys, whether or not we plan for them or not. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got to wake up and live. Start being responsible if we were not before. The things that we do is going to impact your kids. So let's look at something. So a child is born. When we first came into this world, we were not able to talk. We were not able to reason. Okay? We were not able to do those things immediately. But within hours after a child has been born, that child starts to figure out who their guardians are. Whether you want to call them a parent, or you want to refer to as a guardian. How is that done? Well, I'm not a medical person. I'm not scientifically inclined. But I can tell you it's an inborn instinctive behavior that will allow a child to, in those early months or early hours, days, weeks, and months, to be able to start to bond with their parent. I'm saying all of this, I want to bring your mind to bonding. I want to bring your mind to bonding, guys. Because at the end of the day, it is critical for you to understand where we're coming from with this conversation right now. So, I'm sorry. The child starts to bond. They can't talk. They are not able to reason. They can hear, but they won't be able to interpret what we're saying to them. So there's no need for us to tell the child, like, hey, move over. It doesn't happen. Or say, hey, I'm your mom. Yes, or I am your dad. Or whatever the case might be. It is good to talk to the child, because it's out of that talking, out of that repeated situation there, that you're gonna start getting the child to start thinking a certain way. But let's backtrack a little. So, I say again, within hours, a kid will start to bond with the person who they're with from the time they were birthed. And as a result of that, guys, they are instinctively starting, without you realize it, it's what we refer to as osmosis. They instinctively, in a very subtle and incremental way, start to bond with their parents, start to understand who is there for them, start to understand what's, where they should go for solace and warmth and protection. So let's go forward a little. So the child starts to walk around now, or to, move around. They're getting bigger. We're in months, maybe a year or two. And then children are going to be children, you know. They will practice the very things that they see we do because they don't know different. And so the child does something wrong. How do we deal with it? Well, that takes me back to that video I saw last evening. And as I said before, this gentleman actually was instrumental in the demise, the passing of his kid's mother. He's currently in incarceration. But this gentleman is so, you can feel it in his soul, that is absolutely sorry for what transpired. Now, some people might say maybe he's acting. Personally, I don't think he was. But here's what I understand. At an early age, his dad, you know, brusque, he was in the army, rough and tough and gruff. And he beat that kid very badly. He didn't treat the kid as a good parent should. He brought that military situation to the kid's life. And it is, I don't even want to think about it right now, guys. It's crazy what came out of the gentleman's mouth. How his dad beated him. He got cut up so badly, and after he got cut up, his dad went on to put salt and pepper in those wounds as further punishment. We can't do that, guys. The children learns and live, and they do practice what they learn. If every time a child does something that you don't like or you don't want them to do, your response is to physically and cruelly hurt them, then that child will grow to only learn violence as a means of resolving anything. I'm very passionate about this, guys. I'm very passionate about this because right now this world is upside down. If you can relate to what I'm saying, if you have ever been abused, if you ever got treated badly by your parents, write it down in the comments. Let me know. And if you have tried to make changes to be a better parent than what was shown to you, then I lift my cap, which I'm not wearing, to you. I say kudos to you. Now, from the early years of 0 to 5, from the early years of 0 to 5 is very, very crucial in the growth of kids. This forms a foundation. This is the stage, this is the time that they form a basic foundation of which they're gonna grow, which they're gonna build who they become on. We better be careful what we instill in kids, because if you make a child feel that the only way to address situation is to be violent, you are teaching that child that the only way to resolve problems going forward is simply to be violent. Now, I believe that there should be consequences. You know, children are going to be children. But there are ways to do that. Right? There are ways, very effective ways to do that. Then pick your fist up and you hit that kid so hard that even yourself hurt. How can we do that to our kids? We can't do that. They're an extension of us. How would you like someone to do that to you? And I'm just saying, I'm just trying to get you to be reflective. If you're not a parent already and you're listening to this video and you're a parent right now and you find yourself leaning to do that from time to time, because there might be financial stresses, there might be stresses with your spouse. There's so many things. Life is hard, and I understand, but we guys, we have to rein ourselves in. We have to rein ourselves in, or else you could end up like this gentleman. He's incarcerated. His kids are scattered. The kid's mom, by his hands, and because I believe of his early upbringing, he blew up. He blew up at a point when they had a situation where they probably should talk about it and resolve. His response was to enact and to carry out what he was taught. Violence begot violence. If we teach our kids, and when I say teach, I'm not saying, oh, you're going to sit them down in front of a drawing board and say, hey guys, come on, listen, I want you to whenever you face a situation, you should use violence and do it this way. That's what I'm talking about. Your behavior. Remember, they look up to us. We are their role models. So whenever everything comes up, you go pop and you hit them. They in turn, it's going to become a cycle. It's going to act out in their playing with their playmates. When something go wrong, rather than talk about it, pop. And so this goes into school. And then they get into being adults and go into the wider world. And they pretty much are going to play out what my parent taught me, which is to be physically violent with anything or with anyone as it is to resolve situation. So we got to be very careful of that. So remember, guys, from 0 to 5, those are the years that's gonna make that foundation of who your child is basically going to be. Everything else we do from there, we're just adding on. We're just enhancing. But those are the foundation years from 0 to 5. We cannot do that. So we have the early bonding from birth. Right? Remember I said, a child from those early hours into days, they can't speak. They can't reason with us. But it's magical how they bond with their parents. It's an instinctive situation. And this is how they learn. This is how they learn, right? So we don't have the rubrics. I understand. But they're materials, guys. If you really, you already got them, irrespective of how they came about. You might not, as I said, you might not have planned them. Because when I got my first kid, as a matter of fact, I got my children, and save for one, I never planned any of them except for one. And it was even quite like I planned for it. It was more like a situation like in the moment, in a certain moment, I just said, I think we should. And the person said, you know what? I believe so too. Outside of that, all my kids came without me planning to have them being here. So now I'm speaking from your point of view. I'm speaking from your perspective. I am just like you, just another parent who got her kids, never planned for them, kind of knew in the back of our minds that at some point we're going to have kids, and we're looking forward, a lot of us, looking forward to that day. But when it came, we never planned for it. But they're here. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the same thing that happened to our parent when we came into this world. Let me tell you something, guys. I was abused as a kid from my dad. I guess when I went back, years after, I learned that he was abused by his mom, my grandmother. She used to tie her children's hands with ropes. Throw that rope over a tree we call an almond tree in the yard. And then she would get these hibiscus sticks and she would whip the living daylights out of them. So fast forward, I went to live with my dad in some very weird circumstances at an early age. And my dad would take trivial things, and I would be sleeping in the morning. Sleeping, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And all I would hear is a loud shout, like it's judgment day coming. And he would be standing up over me, and he would be going in. Licks would be dropping everywhere, in my head, across my face, across my back, everywhere. And I'm in my sleep, I'm jumping up, I'm rubbing my eyes, I'm like, wonder what is happening, and I'm getting licks everywhere. And it could just be a very simple thing. Very simple. Like my grandmother asked me to change my shirt and put it in the wash. And I forgot because I'm a kid and I'm playing. And I would go, yes, mommy. But I forgot because I'm playing. And my dad comes in and she thinks it's a very big thing. She tells my dad. And in order to please her, because he was abused, he wants to show that he's the man. Like, mommy, I've learned from you. And he don't call me. And so, listen, Steve, why you didn't do? No, he waits until 3, 4, 5 in the morning while I'm asleep. By the time I realize what's happening, I probably get 6, 7, 8 licks. And he's coming hard. It's like he's fighting me. It's like maybe I broke into the house as a thief. My friends, I thank God. Not every kid Not every kid, guys, go the way they shouldn't. You know? I'm sorry, guys. When I thank God for supporting, guarding, protecting me, guiding me. I've been at the brink. I've been there. I could have easily been this young man in prison. So I'm speaking from experience, because those early upbringings make me feel rebellious deep inside. But despite everything, I thank God from my early age. I had to go to Sunday school, and that opened another door. That allows me to be the person I am today, because from an early age I started being exposed to God and a new way of thinking. And that helped me over the years. Guys, a part and parcel of the problems we're having in your homes is that we're too far away from God. And everybody's running around trying to gain the whole world, but is not allowing godliness to be a part of their household. Guys, if you can relate to that, if you're watching this video right now and you can relate to that, give me a comment down. Give me a comment. Put your comment down in the chat. Leave me a comment in that. So guys, let's recap right here. I understand that most of us, becoming a parent was unplanned. But that's okay. That's okay. I understand most of us, or a lot of us, we grew up in some hard times and our parents were not necessarily the best of parents. Some of them have done some very cruel things to us. But you're here today, and it's never late to help to change who you are. It's never late. You're here today. Right? This is time. There's no time like now. So if you're not doing what you ought to do, if you're not sure, there are always help. There's materials all around to read and to understand. And you can emulate. Sometimes you see a good family and the way they live, and you see that rapport that they have with their children. Practice that. Trust me, it works out very nicely. Right? Guys, I'm sorry, I got a bit emotional. It's crazy. It is crazy. And for those of you who have been there, you will understand. For those of you watching this right now, if you have never been there, I thank God for that, because it's not easy. It's not easy. I will have some more of this, guys. This is gonna be like a chronicle. I'm gonna be trying to expound more on this situation. I know I might have been rambling a bit and all over the place, but I really hope that you get the message. I really hope that this can be an inspiration. I really hope that there's someone out there watching who have been there, who understands that other people do understand. But it's not over, and it is okay. It is okay. Guys, hug your children. Keep them warm. They never asked us to be here. They never did. We hold them an obligation to protect them, to love them. I remember seeing a little illustration once of two different set of parenting, where a parent stretched their hand out to the kid, and the kid was happy and reaching back for that hand before it even reaches them. And there was another parent who was not the parent of this kid, an adult. There was this little boy he was visiting, and he reached out to pat the boy on his head because he thought the little boy was cute, and for whatever reason he loved children. So he's visiting with these people, and he put his hands out, and as soon as he put his hands, the kid shied away. As soon as he put his hands out to lovingly touch the kid went like ready, he was about to cry. And it was so sad, because all that this kid knew was to be abused. Whenever someone reached a hand out to him, it was the beginning of some kind of abuse. So sad. May the grace of God go with you all today in your different ways. subscribe to this channel. This channel is about trying to promote healthy awareness as it relates to kids. It's about trying to help people to fund their kids in school. We're trying to build this channel out big enough where we can start to help to grant things like scholarships to kids who are academically brilliant, but financially there's some disparity. They are unable to do this so they can become their best you from an academical standpoint. This is what we're about. GKH Foundation. Guys, hug your kids today. Say kind things to them. And if they do things that are wrong, try sitting them down and talking to them. There might be times that you might have to take something away. Like, give me that iPod. You're not playing on that iPod until you understand. And you decide, so for a few hours, a day or two, whatever. And then before you give that iPod back to them, draw them to you, sit them down nicely, give them a hug, and talk to them. Let them know, you know why I took that iPod from you? You cannot do that, okay? Speak to them like that. If you need help, guys, there's plenty of help. Reach out to me. I can direct you. I work with kids. That's my job. I work with kids. And I'm very passionate about that. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here. I love you in God's name. Walk safe. Be good. God bless you. GKH out. Thank you for coming.